Welcome, guys. Crypto FUD, and let's jump right into this, guys. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy pump day, happy meme coin season day. Let's do this, guys. Art said, Crypt sold everything too early, bro. I did start selling off, and then I was like, you know what? I had to come back on little dips. I bought back in on some of the stuff. I'll bring it up and we'll talk about it, but you already know how it goes, bro. You already know I start securing that bag too early. Well, what is up, guys? Again, welcome. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday. It is hump day. Take with that however you want. No Diddy. Flips in the house. It is time to roll, guys. So let's just jump into here. If you guys have any meme coins that you want to check out, hopefully your name's in the green, and we'll pull them up, right? Gotta look out for them green guys. Right now, Bitcoin. Did you sell Myro? Hold on, bro. You're gonna spoil everything. Just hold on. All right, just hold on. Let's just talk about the Bitcoin real quick, and we're gonna talk about Myro, Maniki, and some of the stuff I've done. All right. Sipping on some rum and coke. You know it's a good day, guys. All right, so Bitcoin right now sitting at around 93,600. It has run all the way up today, somewhere around that 94,700. I don't even like this chart. I'm going to bring up this crazy chart. We'll just resumed it on the 2 hour. So pretty much ran up to a spot that we've already had marked as some support slash resistance. Obviously being under it right now, it is resistance at around 94,000. We'll call it 94,600, somewhere around there. It's pretty much where we have that resistance. We've actually come up and tapped it twice. No Diddy on that one. And what's crazy is today we saw that run up to about 94.6, and then boom, we saw a drop down to about 91.9 as of earlier. But since then, it's kind of been, it's recovered somewhat, back up into the 93s, and it's kind of been consolidating, we'll say, in between this channel of around 94.5 to about 91.9, only coming down to the bottom of the channel that one time. So as of right now, things look great. You can see our moving averages, right? Our moving averages, these are going to be your 20, 50, 100, 200 days on your 2 hour right now, are basically all parallel running south of the chart. This pretty much just indicates a bullish move in the markets, right? Because you guys know moving averages are a lagging indicator, right? So they're usually going to be a little bit behind the price. And as the price is above, and basically when you see these big moves, the price is going to jump up above these moving averages, right? And you can see they basically are all pointing towards the upside. So right now, pretty much holding that 20-day moving average, which is basically the bullish you can have, right? And you can see we somewhat came down to almost retest this 2 hour 20-day moving average. Didn't even have to. We basically bounced off of another support level, and since then we have bounced up. So as of now, all that gibberish pretty much meaning that right now we are still looking great. Everything's still looking bullish. The regular stock market today came out great, right? S&P up almost 2%, NASDAQ up 2.2%, the Dow Jones over 1%. So it looks great. Another bad day for gold, down another 2.5, 2.7%. And Bitcoin obviously having a phenomenal day as well. I think a lot of money is shifting from gold and coming back into a lot of places like the stock market and crypto, which basically they will say is riskier assets, right? We've been saying this for a while as gold's been spiking. Gold, I have to give it its dues, right? It was doing really well, and I mean, it's not that it's over with. It's still hovering right below all-time highs, but you can see it is cooling off due to a lot of people shifting their money, that scared money shifting from gold back into the riskier assets as what they deem. So things look great, guys, but we're not here really for Bitcoin, right? We're not really here for Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs to just continue to do really well, but we're here for meme coins and all those big 10Xs and 20Xs and 100Xs that are going to be coming here. So we're going to talk about those here now. But Bitcoin dominance still rearing its ugly head at around 64.4% right now. Still dominating the crypto space, obviously 64% right now. I mean, this is very high, right? Very high. What we want to see is obviously dominance start dropping down into the lower 50s. I don't think we're going to get down to the 40s. That's usually what we see during a altcoin season when alts are going absolutely parabolic, is usually Bitcoin's dominance drops down below that 50 mark. I necessarily don't think we don't even need for it to happen this cycle. And a couple things, obviously, I think Bitcoin's going to stay relatively strong as far as dominance, just because the ETF, it has the stock market really holding it back, or holding it going, basically keeping it propped up. But there's just so much more money in this cycle, so I don't think that we're going to necessarily need Bitcoin to drop down to those lower levels for dominance for us to see a massive, run in all the rest of the sector as far as altcoins. So we keep monitoring that. We'll definitely keep an eye on it. Looking at the bubbles for today, we have some big movers today, right? We have some very big movers. Obviously, Trump coin, we're going to talk about this here in a minute, up 61% today. Jasmy doing great, up almost 12%. Sui has been killing it, up almost 16%. Chainlink, 6.8%. Lido, 5%. Floki, Jupiter, XCN, Arbitrum, Wild. We can go down the list. I mean, everything's looking great. Even that Wally token that you guys had me look up probably like 2 weeks ago came from out of the dead, up 12% today. So, I mean, things look great. Another great day in the market. We'll take it. We will take it all day, guys. So let's just jump into a couple things here. Fear and Greed Index up 50 to 52. Yesterday we were at 38. And 2 days ago, guys, we were hovering around extreme greed down into like the lower 30s. And we've literally almost doubled in Fear and Greed Index. This right here, like I always tell you guys, is really the confidence meter, in my opinion. This right here, obviously, when you start seeing that going into neutral, into greed, extreme greed, that just shows you the confidence in the market as far as people wanting to buy and spend their money in crypto, right? Obviously, we all know how this works out. We love to buy in when it's fear, extreme fear. That's the best time, in my opinion, to be just stacking up. Get all the noise out of your head and just be stacking up. Even if it's for, the next 6 months, whatever the case is. Obviously, during bear markets, you're going to be in that extreme fear, and you're going to be sitting on your projects for a while. But if you have patience and you let it all play out, it's always a good time to buy, because obviously when we're in greed and extreme greed, that's when we're looking for exits and exit liquidity, as the dumb money, we call it, right? It's flowing in, FOMOing in. We're the ones that are selling to them, making those 10, 20, 30, and 100x's sometimes, right? And even more. I've even made more than 100x before. So, all right, so let's just jump in here. I'm going to pull up DeFi first. Because we have a lot of movement going on. So top of the list for my list, doesn't mean this is the top mover for all of DeFi, but top of the list obviously is Trump coin. Trump's coin is killing it today. It's up 55% on here. It jumped up. I mean, this thing, we haven't even really been paying attention to it, but it did bottom out somewhere around $7. And you can see, obviously, it has doubled since then on a nice spike. Why is Trump coin particularly running? Well, a couple of reasons, right? Obviously, he's the president, right? A lot of people he has a lot of exposure, so people are like, oh, official Trump coin, they're going to jump in. But I think this might be a reason as well. Trump crypto coin buyers offered VIP tour of the White House. That's crazy. That is crazy. So the cryptocurrency Donald Trump launched days before returning to the Oval Office got a big boost on Wednesday afternoon, as Trump-owned company behind the Memecoin announced that its top holders would be invited to an exclusive dinner with the president. And 25 leading buyers would get a special VIP tour of the White House. Now, you can look at it as however you want. I think that's kind of cool. Regardless of whoever is in office, I think that is kind of cool that, if you were if you're a top holder on this project, I mean, imagine what if someone got in real early, because remember, this was trading at a time was at like 17 cents. So imagine some like young kid just threw like $1,000 in there and picked up like massive amounts of Trump coin and just held on to it even to this day, right? and now they're getting to go to the White House, regardless if they support Trump or not. They're getting to go to the White House. I think that's pretty dope, in my opinion. So, this is probably obviously a big reason why the project is seeing a influx in money. Also, on top of that, it's just the markets are running, DeFi's running as well. So, I thought that was pretty cool on that one. Art said Zero Bro ran nicely. Zero Bro ran nicely. I'm just reading the chat. And Wall and Deep on Sui. Hell yeah. Think we have, do we have Wally or whatever you call it, Wall? I think we have that on here. Yeah, it's up 12%. I mean, it's not nothing crazy, but it's up. This is a fairly new project. This is on Sui, that's right. So Sui's running, obviously. Sui's, the ecosystem's going to be running as well. You can see, we pointed this out, the support level at around 38 cents. So it's definitely, looks like it's found a bounce at that 38 cents mark at around 50 cents right now. So not looking too bad. So Art was asking me, did you sell freaking Myro? Well, I'm going to be honest with you guys. So I have been, obviously in our members only stream, was screaming to the hills, I'm buying Myro, I'm buying Memecoin. This shit's down to like $9 million each in market cap. I'm buying, right? Stacking up. I had goals for me to pick up, a certain amount of each project. So I did it. I literally, Myro, I didn't reach my goal exactly, but I was like right there. And then we started running. So I wasn't even too upset. Did I sell? Yes, I did sell my Myro. Temporarily, I did sell when we spiked up. I was able to catch the sell at around 2.6, and I did buy back in about 60% of my position when we dropped back down towards this lower 20-21 area. So I did sell at the 26 area, and I did buy back in. It wasn't even that much of a big play either. Like, if you really map out, let's just say from there, it was about a 20% play right there. So I was able to obviously make that, and then I was able to didn't have to spend even nearly as much for me to pick up almost as much as what I had at a 20% discount. So it was a risky play, but I definitely bought right back in on a solid bag, just picking back up my my Myro. So Myro's looking good, up 52% today. And this is something that we called out on the member stream multiple times. So where the hell is everybody at today? Where's everybody at? Flip, I see you said you were working. You're good, brother. Everybody can watch it later. It's all right. I guess I was the only one that's pumped up about the market today. Guess I was the only one. Me and Art. Art's in the house. So yeah, definitely did that on Memecoin. Kind of the same move. I ended up selling Memecoin. You guys already know I sold Memecoin like up here before it got crazy manipulated, but ended up starting to buy in before we bottomed out. But I did pick up a lot more. So my bag of Memecoin is about halfway of what it was when I sold off up here. But Memecoin's been doing fantastic as well. One thing I called out after that winter mute, wallet sold and manipulated, I called the manipulation. Then we saw the big drop. I said it was good for them, obviously, to get out and we can start seeing natural growth. What was good about that, the last week of what we saw with Memecoin was that there was a lot of exposure, right? A lot of people were tweeting and talking about, Memecoin and stuff like that. It brought a lot of people into the space as far as Memecoin, and brought, kind of people that didn't know about Memecoin know about it now, right? So you're seeing that natural growth up. You're not seeing these crazy, what we were seeing before, like, this right here is just unnatural. These moves, unnatural. Maybe some of these spikes were all right, but then spike and then a big drop and then consolidate spike, and it was so manipulated. Now it just looks like this beautiful staircase of something that you want to see when a project's naturally moving and it has hype behind it. So definitely looks good. Still right now, even at this point, at $27 million, is still a solid buy for Myro and for Memecoin with being such small market caps. Another project that's running today is Turbo. Turbo has been absolutely ripping, and shout out to like Flip. Flip always was asking about Turbo, and when we dropped down to this bottom, I remember us having that member stream and really just bringing it up, saying, bro, listen, right now the charts don't matter. Other than you can see that Turbo's gone from like $1 billion market cap down to like two. At the time, it was like $150 million. I was like, this is a solid buy right here, right? And you can see obviously that bottom to where we're at right now, massive run. And I mean, we called this out just a few weeks ago, not just with Turbo, but with most of the projects that are doing really well, right? I told you guys, when we start running, we're gonna see easy 2X's immediately, right? It's gonna immediately happen, just because a lot of these projects are just bouncing up and getting back up to where they were, from just a few months ago. So we're seeing a lot of that same money come flowing in. It feels great because a lot of us have been taking advantage of these dips. So a lot of people are in the green or making good money off of this stuff. So, shout out to you guys for sure. So, I mean, the market, like I said today, looks great. A lot of projects not only up, but up considerable amounts. And actually, we have a Turbo article that I wanted to bring up. So Turbo Crypto, Bonk Crypto recovery move, smartest meme coins to invest in April. So meme coins are making a strong comeback this April, and two names are back on traders' radars, Turbo and Bonk. Both projects gained serious attention during previous market cycles, and now with fresh bullish momentum, they're showing potential to rally again. Let's look closely at each project and its current price action to understand why these meme coins might be smart plays this month. The broader crypto market is recovering, and meme coins are typically the first to fly when traders start chasing returns. Bitcoin is back above 94, and with confidence returning, capital often follows the riskier assets like memes. So Turbo and Bonk also benefit from having real communities, strong histories, and viral potential. So they're showing you the chart that we have obviously for Turbo, and really, let's see here. I haven't marked up any of my Turbo charts, so we might as well do that now. So they're looking for spots for support and resistance. Let me see here. I'm gonna look up a couple spots here. Obviously, this bottom being a support level. And then we'll do a fib retracement actually on here too, just to see what that gives us. You can see, look at the fib. I'm going to delete this right there. Look at the fib. Turbo ran all the way up to the 618. Look where it exactly bounced at, the 618 right here at around that 55 mark. Look at that. Bounced off the support, hit its head at the 618 right there. Absolutely crazy. So let's see here. So they basically just give a little TA on Turbo, and then Bonk. What is Bonk doing today? I haven't looked at Bonk in a little while. So what's crazy is we've had this marked for a while, even before Bonk dropped down this support level. You can see, and it actually was support, and then it became resistance. Support level dropping down on this double bottom at around the 10 mark, and look at that, boom. So right here, this 15 mark is basically a big spot for some support / resistance. Now that it dropped below that price range, you can see a price mark that it looks like that 15 mark is going to be a big spot for some resistance as of now. So Bonk, beautiful run up. It technically says it's down 2% for right now because the numbers reset, I believe, at 6 o'clock. So it's technically saying it's down 2% just because of this, it's starting to retrace a little bit. But I mean, if we mapped out just from today, I mean, it's up 20 something percent. It actually at some point was up 35%. So nice move. That 1534 area is going to be a big spot that you guys are going to want to break if you are invested on Bunk. Once it breaks above that, obviously you have the 786 at 19, and then the 618. I'm sorry, this is the 0.5 at around 28 that you're going to have. So, but I mean, big recovery looks like it's going to be coming for a lot of these meme coins. So, and you got to be careful. Fantasy Pepe, they're obviously got paid to throw that in the articles. So you have to be careful with that. And looking at the Fed meeting, Jay, what's going on, brother? Looking at the Fed meeting, you know, remember I was calling for some kind of a reduction in interest rates. It does not look like it's coming for May. Does not look like it's coming for May. So we're going to have to wait until June. How long do we have? We have, less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks for the next FOMC meeting in May 7th. So doesn't look like Jerome Powell's going to budge on that. This is so funny. Bitcoin 75,000, no one's buying. Bitcoin at 90K. There's a long line, right? It happens every time. Look at it. This is everybody in meme coins right now. That's funny. Bitcoin right now having, you know, a little bit of a retracement. A little bit of a retracement. We're at 93,400 right now. Could we see something like this happen? Some kind of a double top M pattern? Potentially, right? I don't think that if we do have something like that, and let's just say we come back to retrace and retest some levels. We already came back to retest 91.9. Maybe we need to come back to retest like 90,900, somewhere around there before we see some kind of a big bounce. You know, that wouldn't be unreasonable, and it would definitely still be very bullish. I mean, we could easily drop down to maybe the higher 80s real fast just to kind of psych people out. You know, like almost like because people are calling this a bull trap that we're in right now. If you talk to people, Carlos, what's going on, brother? If you talk to people that aren't so like just pro crypto and everything, it's just so bull. If you talk to people that are kind of level headed, right? They're potentially saying, you know, a lot of people are still kind of like weary. You know, like, is this potentially a bull trap? And you're like, Crip, what the hell is a bull trap? Well, bull trap's where, you know, you're going to see the markets come alive briefly, and it makes everybody think that everything's back to being bullish. People are FOMOing in everywhere, and then boom, the rug gets pulled from right under you, and we end up going down and making even lower lows, right? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but given the turmoil that we've just dealt with for the last like 6 weeks, I understand why people think that, right? And until we get to certain levels, or maybe even if we do, because I mean, we're at a solid level right now. Even if like we consolidated, you know, at these levels for, you know, even if it was like the next week or two, I think that would kind of ease fears in regards to people thinking this is some kind of a bull trap. Now, the vice versa, a bear trap, we could easily, right, stay bullish, come down, and like I said, retest maybe 90,900, or come back to retest like 88,008 right here, a big spot you can see as resistance. We could come back to retest either one of those levels and then just bounce off of that and do like some kind of a moonshot up to 100K, right? That right there would be your ultimate bear trap, because then you have the bears like, oh, see, I told you that was a bull trap. We're dropping. We drop down to like 88.8, like I said, and then, you know, out of nowhere, we just start mooning even harder, no diddy, and we run up to $100,000+. That would be the ultimate bear trap right there, in my opinion. So obviously, we don't obviously know exactly what's going to be in store for us. I mean, I know it feels good to be bullish, right? But you want to be clear-headed and look at the charts, you know, clearly, and not get ahead of ourselves in regards to just having 2 days in the green, right? Things are looking great. Remember why we're here, right? Remember why the markets are green. Remember why the markets were red, right? It was the tariffs, you know, a lot of stuff with the tariffs, macro. We still haven't got out of the woods at all that stuff. That's why I don't want to just, come out and just be so bullish and because I know that's what everybody wants to hear. But at the same time, I just want to be, honest on my opinion, right? Like right now, I currently have a short open on Bitcoin. I do have a short. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm short. Like we're definitely dropping down. I have a short that I will carry up. If Bitcoin runs up to 150K, I will continue to keep that position open. Obviously, I would have to keep increasing my position on that so I don't get liquidated, right? We've gone over this in the members only stream, but I do have a short because at some point we are going to drop again. It's just inevitable, so I want to take advantage of us moving up and moving down, right? Kind of, I always tell you guys that devil advocate kind of scenario. But the point of what I'm getting to is the reason why we were down so much was the tariffs. I mean, it seems like we're getting some progress with China, right, and all the other countries, stuff like that. And it seems like Trump is starting to ease up a little bit. I think his advisors behind closed doors are kind of telling him like, bro, the markets are struggling right now. The whole economy is terrified. Like we agree with the tariffs, but I don't know if we should go maybe this route, something like that. If you're watching certain news channels, they're going to tell you, oh, he folded, which I don't care, right? Who cares? We're worried about is making money in the market. And he has come back and dialed back the rhetoric in regards to China and really going crazy for that tit for tat kind of thing. And that's why the markets started to move, as of the last couple of days. Also, he was, going at it with Jerome Powell. He also came back and was like, you know what? I don't want to, I don't want Jerome Powell to go anywhere. I just want interest rates to drop, right? Which I've been calling. I told you guys this is what his position was even before he got elected. He runs off of the economy that has low interest rates, period, right? So he dialed back on that. So the market started to see this and they're like, you know what? I'm going to jump back into the market because it seems like things are starting to ease up, right? And I think that's what we saw the initial, those initial gains from. Now we're going to have to see, obviously the markets are going to need more, right? We're going to need more. And that's why we've hit a little spot where we haven't moved up anymore, right? Because this was all running off of stuff from yesterday, right? So hopefully we get more good news with China, right? Hopefully we get more good news with everything that's been bringing us down. As far as macro interest rates coming down, I don't think we're going to get that news this time around, but obviously definitely the following meeting in June, where the markets are obviously calling for some kind of reduction. You can see 94% are calling for a pause for this next meeting, which is in 13 days. And then in June, if it'll ever go in there, we have about, 57% of the market saying that we're going to see some kind of a reduction in interest rates. This has shifted. Ricky, what's going on, brother? This has shifted. If you go back a week ago, it was like 40 and like 20. It was like 70% of the market was like, yeah, we're definitely going to see. Now it's only at 57%. A lot of it shifted over to, I think we're going to see a pause even in June. And that, to me, I feel like that is just, you guys remember, I was saying May, because he was going to be pressured. I think because Trump kind of dialed back, it's 100% going to be in June. It's going to be, I think, if the Feds don't reduce rates in June, they are going to have to go so aggressive in the last meetings for the rest of the year. I'm talking about like a whole basis point kind of aggression, right? So I don't see why they would do that, and they would maybe just do small increments, like June, a quarter, maybe September, like a quarter or half, something like that. But who freaking knows with Jerome Powell? My boy, I think, has a point to make now that he just can't be controlled, right? And you got to respect it. Ricky, where the hell have you been, bro? Meme coins are pumping today, and everybody's like, just chilling, not even in here. I'm going to call you Nuts, all right? El Nutso. He said, what's up with Trump coin? Trump coin's running, bro. We pulled it up. Hopefully it goes to $30. I mean, you can see your spots right here. You have big spot for some resistance. I mean, I might have to move. Let me see something here. Big spots for resistance on Trump coin. You have $16.74. You have $19.45, and then you have $24.52 as your next kind of big spots for some resistance on Trump coin. But if you guys didn't catch earlier, we saw this article. Trump coin buyers offer VIP tour to the White House. So this was announced today that the top, I believe, 25 holders are all getting invited to a dinner and basically a freaking VIP tour of the White House coming up. So this was a big reason why you saw the movement in the what was that? When you see it going, interesting to see when the dinner will be held. I mean, I don't know if the dinner is actually going to be like a big mover, like the day of the dinner. I don't know if it's going to be a big mover. I personally think that helped, the project move up today, but I do think it's just also you have the market, the actual market running. Solana is doing really well. It's at $150 right now, and obviously Trump coin's on the Solana network, so that's also bringing it up a lot of the ecosystem for Solana. Anything that's on Solana. So I think it was just a big, trifecta of things going on, and that's why you're seeing not only Trump coin, because if you look, our top of the list right now, other than Turbo, which is on Ethereum, which Ethereum's doing really well as well, it's all Solana-based projects, right? Myro up 52%, killing it right now. You have Trump, Turbo, like we said, Maniki up 23%. Melania, right? That project, which really was felt like it was dead as well, up 22%. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Jay said Maniki's crawling its way back up. It is, bro. And I said this earlier. It was great that we saw. It sucks if you didn't catch the top here. I fair warned you guys that it was a lot of manipulation going on. And obviously it sucked if you didn't catch the top right here, but we got some good buy-ins. But this was because of manipulation from the Wintermute, wallets that sold out their whole position after we pumped up, but they're out, and you can see this natural growth of Maniki running up. And I was just calling this out, saying even right now, $27 million market cap is freaking pennies compared to what I think it's going to get to. Honestly, I think it's pennies compared to what I think it's going to get to. So, and same thing with Myro, right? Myro is even lower, $23 million market cap, even lower, right? So this thing has so much potential. I mean, think about it. If either one of those projects run up to like a quarter billion, so it's like $250 million market cap, those are 10, 11x's just from where they're at right now. Imagine while we were screaming during the members only stream, Myro, Maniki, right? They were at $8, $9 million market caps, right? So imagine if you were able to just accumulate like I was, and a lot of people were accumulating Myro at $8 million market cap, and this thing just runs up to $250 million, which is still so small compared to what we just saw a few months ago with a lot of these meme coins well over $1 billion, right? So a $250 million market cap is small, is pennies to what these projects can actually get up to. But I mean, if you really just think about that, from just say $10 million up into to a quarter million, that is a 25x from its bottom to where it potentially could be running to. Massive gains, guys. Demon said, I think Myro is a better play than Jasmine. I wouldn't compare the two, bro. Right? I wouldn't compare the two. I think Myro is a good play for meme coins, right? And I think Jasmine is a dope project that has utility, right? And has a freaking massive community, right? So I wouldn't compare. One's a meme coin, one is freaking a coin that like literally is supported by the whole Asian market. So I think that you can't compare the two. I think they're both going to do really well. Jasmine would be, I think, in my opinion, remember I always tell you guys it was large cap, mid cap, small caps. I think Jasmine's right there in that beautiful spot for a mid cap project for some explosive gains. It's at $800 million market cap. So I mean, this has the potential. If you really look at just in the last year, this thing spiked up to almost $3 billion, right? So you can see this massive retrace, and now you're starting to point up towards the sky for Jasmine. This was another play that we called out during our member stream. As far as mid cap, I said Jasmine dropped down below a penny. I was like, this is a for sure win. L Nuts. I hope you don't mind me calling you that, bro. L Nuts. Oh, Elon Nuts. Okay, now I see. Elon Nuts. I gotta call you either one, so we'll call you Nuts. Says best play is Trump. All right, that's Nuts' opinion. Demon said, I think everything's a meme. I mean, not really, bro. There's actually a project that have, they have, utility. They actually do stuff, they have plans to do stuff. Meme coins are strictly driven by hype, right? But they're riskier assets, and those are usually hype behind anything can run it up to the moon. So I just don't feel like saying Elon Nuts. Like, it just takes forever. And then if that's like triggers some kind of algorithm where Elon's going to start coming after me. Gotta be cautious, bro. But yeah, guys, all in all today, not a bad day. Not a bad day. We'll take it day number 2 of the market's pumping. Day number 2 of the market's pumping right now. And I think as we continue to move, we should continue to see this fear and greed index, move up. I'm not expecting us to run into greed so quick, right? I'm expecting us to kind of hang around in this neutral area. Maybe we'll move up a little bit, but I'm expecting us to kind of stay in this neutral area for right now. The market cap right now, let me see something here. So we're at what are we at? 2.9 billion. Yesterday I think we were somewhere around the same. So looks like we've topped out 2.95 so far as of today. So we'll see how this plays out. But a lot of money has come flying back into the market, which is great. Demon said, are you buying the Twitch 2? What the hell's the Twitch 2? You mean the Switch? Oh yeah, Switch 2? Is that, you mean the game system? My daughter has, if that's what you're talking about, my daughter has a Switch, but she hasn't freaking played it in it's probably been 6 months since she's picked that damn thing up. She's 15 years old now. So she doesn't game anymore. I'm like, whatever, dude. But it's weird because she'll come back and start gaming for a little while, and then she doesn't game, and then Elon Nuts said, we China to come to agreement, then we pump. Are you saying we are you from China? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying we need China to come to some kind of agreement is what you're saying? Yeah, we need. Okay. That's what I figured. I didn't know if you were speaking for China. You're we, China, us here in China, we need an agreement coming from Trump. I speak for all of China. All right, guys. Well, listen. Hold on. Demon's hitting us up. Hold on. In your opinion, this bull run will be 1 month or 2 months? Oh, I mean, we haven't even really started, bro. All we're doing right now is kind of just regaining, what we lost just a few months ago. But when I think at the top of the market, this is where I think the confusion comes in, is the top of the market, right? Or when we start getting close to that top of the market and alter or, going crazy, that's where I think we're going to be there for about 4 to 8 weeks, right? Because if you look back at 2021, that's what we did, right? But all up until then, the market was running as well, right? So it takes time for us to get to those levels. But when we're at that peak level, we're only there for a very short time. And then that's that. The market tops. We have a blow off top, and then we're on our way down. It's confusing because as we're on our way down, you're going to see bounces, right? But all in all, we're making lower highs and lower lows, right? And then when you look back a year after the fact, you're like, holy shit, that was the top of the market, and we were freaking coming down the whole time, right? But everybody's going to be like, no, we still haven't topped out. And Bitcoin already ran up to like 200K, and you just made a 40x on all your meme coins and shit like that. And like, nah, bro, I'm going to be in here telling you, nope, that was the top. That for sure was the top. Demon said, because once the tariffs are off again, I think that's over for this bull run. Once the tariffs are resolved, I think we're just back up to naturally, where we're supposed to be going, right? And then I keep saying, there's no way around it. 2026, there's going to be a bear market. There's no way around it. I'm sorry. There's no way around it unless the markets are artificially being pumped. It's the 4-year cycle. We're going to be in eventually a bear market at some point coming up in 2026. So that's why I was telling you guys just 2 months ago, I was like, we don't have a lot of time, So we need to figure everything out as far as the markets, because we don't have a lot of time, in my opinion. So, but let's just take it day by day, right? Things are looking good today, guys. Meme coins are the big winners for today, but not only meme coins. We have a lot of other projects, right, that are doing well. Bitcoin leading the pack, doing really well. So hopefully we can keep this momentum running, right? And we can keep moving. If we do see little bits of some retracements here and there, it's natural. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, we might need to come back to bounce at certain areas, which is perfectly fine for us to continue to stay in a bull run. So as long as we're not dipping back into like the lower 70s, or anything like that, I think we're going to be fine. So I think, honestly, bro, Demon, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that he is trying to he's trying to move the markets up, right? That's why he's kind of relaxed himself a lot with a lot of stuff, So I think, I think he's trying to keep the markets up and try to keep, because how he is. He doesn't want to see the markets down. He doesn't want to. He wants to win at everything. So, which I don't blame him. You don't want to be president and the market's crashing. It's just not a good look. So, but with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for being here today. Make sure if you guys are new, hit that like, hit the subscribe. We'll be back here tomorrow. Hopefully, we have a good day to talk about tomorrow. All right, guys. Other than that, be safe out there. I will see you guys very shortly tomorrow. See ya.